Out of the day, right out of the gate.
Let's get this going, right? You gotta break down that initial barrier,
right?
And this is gonna be the springboard for what I think is gonna be an incredible day.
I have the same feeling.
Yeah. A lot of good energy in the room. Really excited to be here. Let's get this going. If you guys would, just real quick, self-introductions. I'll let you go first, Michael. Just name who you're with and what you do, and then you can go next.
Mike Tartaglia, SiteTech Southwest. I am the technology and software consultant for them.
Gotcha.
Chris Kellogg with SiteTech Midway, digital construction professional and consultant.
Okay, so SiteTech, your SiteTech Midway, where is that located?
Northwest Indiana,
Okay.
Illinois, and Eastern Iowa.
I was wondering if it was Illinois.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha. And you, of course, are?
SiteTech Arizona and Nevada.
Right on. Okay, so in your role, what do you do, Mike? What's your main, what's
can we take a step back?
You can do whatever
What's
you
the
want,
elevator speech on SiteTech? I mean, you guys know each other, but
yeah.
I just met you, so what's SiteTech?
Sell Sean on SiteTech.
Okay, SiteTech is a technology company for Trimble. We sell all of Trimble software, hardware, and survey gear. So that's what we do, and we're all tied to our local cat dealer. So whatever territory the cat dealer has is the same as us. So I'm with Empire. Empire owns Arizona territory, Nevada territory, and a portion of California.
Okay.
Wow, that's a big area to cover.
And I do all of the support and training for it.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm with Altor for Cat out of Northwest Indiana, Illinois, and Eastern Iowa.
Interesting.
So I always like to say the reason why we get along great is because we have those territories set up.
Yep.
And we can springboard ideas off of each other. We never worry about somebody cannibalizing clients and customers.
Yep.
I have a really good friend in Indiana for SiteTech Indiana.
Yep.
All of us have known each other forever.
So
we have each other's back. That's the difference between our other competitors.
And is SiteTech nationwide, or is it just certain regions?
Worldwide.
So what's the connection with CAT? Is there an ownership thing there? Like you said, you're with Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that look?
There's Empire Technology Holdings. So how it worked at one time was Trimble, when they got rid of Spectrophysics and became SiteTech, they said it had to be aligned with a cat dealer.
Nice.
And that's how that happened.
Yeah. It's just like a natural partnership, really.
Yes.
That's awesome. And what are some of the advancements? I know you do a lot with like machine control and that type thing. What are some of the advancements that have taken place recently or are coming down the pipe?
A lot of it is reality capture is a big thing coming out.
Okay.
Where now you're able to, go out there with the SX12 and scan data, and then send that directly to Trimble Connect. Which then could go into Business Center, but then you can also view and utilize that scan data in Trimble Connect, where you can share the data amongst other parties that don't have software.
Yep. In Trimble Connect, I think that's a tool that not enough people use, right? Like they have it available to them. Talk about Trimble Connect a little bit and just kind of the value that plugin, for lack of a better term, brings.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of new to that part of it.
Okay.
Because it's kind of been progressing and
building
on itself. So I rely on
why don't you fill
my older brother Michael here to train his little brother from Northern Illinois.
So Trimble Connect started out mostly as a file sharing and transferring tool. And what they've been doing for the past few years is slowly but surely adding to it and developing more and more with it, to where now somebody's running Trimble Access, which falls more into the actual hardcore survey side. They have the ability to go directly from their access to connect, and then connect to Business Center, and then back from Business Center to connect back out to the field. So they were using that as interplay. On the construction side, we have a thing called Works Manager, which does something very similar, but it doesn't have a lot of the built-in tools to be able to share files pretty readily with other people outside of your company, like to connect. And that's something that's starting to migrate onto the construction side now. So we're dealing more and more with that. And how I got into it is I deal a lot with mines. And mines need to share data very quickly. So we're instituting a lot of that in the mines.
So on the training side of this, what's the biggest challenge that you have in connecting all your customers with the resources that are available?
For me, the hardest part is there's so much to learn, and everybody is at different levels.
Yep.
But they want to know everything at one time.
Yep.
And that has been the hardest thing to do, is to get people to understand you have to baby step. And in the industry we're in, which we all know is fast paced.
Sure.
You learn something today, well, guess what? That's old news. You're on to something now tomorrow. So the hardest thing that we've been finding is being able to baby step the clients and getting them up to speed.
So is that like you finally convince them that scanning is the way to go? They have the hardware. They go out there and they do a scan, and then they immediately say, "Why can't I see this on my phone?"
That's right. and believe it or not, we do have that. We have a thing called sight vision.
But I'm sure there's several steps.
Training that needs to go. Almost definitely, yeah. And there's guys, like, I do a lot of drone work. There's guys that'll fly the drone. They'll bring it in the business center, and now they're like, okay, where's my point cloud?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you got to process it, and then
What does that mean?
And then they get the point cloud, and they create a surface, and it has all these elongations on it and bumps and everything, and they're like, it's not smooth. Well, we got to learn how to.
Oh, this piece of junk! Get out of here.
Exactly. So how do we clean it up? So then you got to teach them. There's steps in order to get to the final product. Yeah. That's been my hardest.
Interesting.
I have a joke from our family's company, because I was actually a client of Trimble's.
Okay.
Back in 1999, we had the first ever machine control system in the U.S. It wasn't military. So our inside joke with my mentor, my head estimator, was when my partner would come in, he literally thought we'd just copy and paste it off the civil engineers onto a data card in the dozers. And I literally bought a Staples easy button, that joke. When you leave the room, I'll be like, well, that was easy, we're good. And everybody do the joke except for a certain partner. Because there's workflows like Mike's talking about. And what Mike and I try to teach is upper management and the people that are actually doing it, that, hey, it will get you there, will get you the best product possible, but there are workflows to get you the best product possible and the most precise model possible. Right. And we'll help you with the accuracy of that precision.
So you can't just feed the plans into the data collector on the dozer.
You know what? If we were able to do that, and we had figured it out, we wouldn't be sitting here talking.
Exactly. It would have been done by now. You'd have a booth over there.
I'd be sitting on the beach, and my wife, who's an accountant, would just be going, "Yep, the money came in today. The money's there today."
We'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there.
So what about like on the hardware side? What advancements are taking place there?
Well, on the hardware side, a lot of the virtual realities are starting to come out, where you're able to see on an excavator, being able to see what you're actually digging.
That's awesome.
The other thing that is coming into play is being able to put a lot of this tool on skid steers and box blades, so you can put full GPS and stuff onto it.
Yep.
Being able now to take what you use as a rover head, and you can embed that onto a boom of an excavator, and with your data collector, you can now use that to dig a trench or a foundation.
So cool.
Interesting.
Yes. Yep.
So are these things going to become autonomous?
Eventually, I think it's going that way.
Yeah. Yep. Like, why not?
I was working with a client recently where the bulldozers are fully autonomous.
Really?
I taught them how to fly the drone, get a 3D model, point cloud information. I helped them, train them with a set plan, set thing, line work, and the bulldozer with Cat Command is following that line work. Someday I'll tell you what the client is, but it's a pretty cool project I've been helping on behind the scenes.
Right. We can't say, but he's brought me in. So
yeah. And honestly, that's because I literally paid for my college by driving a D8 bulldozer and 627 scraper to pay for school. So then they called me as a consultant to be like in the machine and try to picture what the operator maybe in a different country needs to learn how the machine and the capabilities and the limitations, and then put all of our technology into it. But then I have the operator mind from, I grew up on a farm around machines my entire life.
Nice.
So that's honestly why my GM hired me, because he knew me from back then. And he's like, and in my training classes, that's why I try to put myself in the machine from back when I was doing it, when I was younger, and saying, okay, how am I going to make our data, our information guide that machine to do the accuracy that I remember from running the bulldozers.
Yeah.
And then Mike and I, compare notes all the time. We talk on a weekly basis, most of the time joking around about stuff, but sometimes some serious stuff.
Right.
And I'll say, hey, like, I need the bulldozer to do this, like what I used to.
Yeah.
Show me a tip and trick. And yeah, we always joke around. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. That collaboration is so important.
Yep.
So is that where you see this going next with all the technology is autonomous? Is that really the focus, or is there more you can do on the software side?
There's a lot we could do on the software side, but to answer your question, yes, it is going autonomous. A lot of the mines are really starting to push to the autonomy end here in the United States.
And I'm curious, how do they view the safety side of that? Because the first thing that you said when you're like, oh, why not? I'm like, well, I can think of like a lot of reasons why you would not want to do that for safety reasons, but there's also the safety of the operator, and I'm guessing they're do you know how they're weighing those pros and cons?
I do not know off the top of my head.
yeah, I would think from my world, and another way that Mike and I knew each other, we met here 15, 16 years ago at Con Expo, at the top of the Bellagio. I think it was Caterpillar's like anniversary party or something. They had a whole to do. But I think what I'm seeing it as is making the operator more efficient right now and safety concerns.
Yeah.
As long as that operator is doing the best they possibly can, most efficient, and then safety wise. Because we had a background in the landfill businesses, both of us, Mike and I, and you don't want humans around mining and environmental issues. So I see that as the goal right now, and then it'll springboard from there.
And I'm guessing there's a stepping stone into this, kind of like the I use the example of the Tesla automated feature, like. You have to be at the drive. You have to be in the driver's seat, and every so often you got to move the wheel, like you're still there. So I'm assuming there's some. It's not just all right. We're just going to do it remotely, and we'll see what happens. Right?
Yeah, the technology is expanding. I mean, from the time we were reading verniers to all of a sudden there was an EDM that went on the top. You thought you were the cat's meow because it gave you a distance on the top. To total stations, to then a geodometer. To then GPS, to now GPS running all the time on machines, to GLONASS, full constellations. So I see a lot of things happening in regards to this.
I love when Mike gets excited about surveying because he comes from the survey world. I literally come from the farming and dirt world, like moving huge mountains of dirt. So he geeks out over surveying and these terms that I'm learning from him. But if he wants me to talk about dirt and topsoil and soils, testing and all that, I jump in.
Right. Yeah, see, and it's like the landfill business. When I was in the landfill business, we used to have to send a guy up on the slip to check the 3-to-1.
Sure. Yeah.
Now with GPS, we send the model directly from the office right to the machine.
Yes.
Nobody actually has to go to the machine anymore. We remotely send it, and then the machine manages that slope.
Wow.
So we don't even have to be up there anymore, but we can monitor it from the office.
Yeah, to build on that, in my world, we were managing quite a few landfills in northern Illinois. A lot of our family, our success was awesome family members that were my managers, and then friends, like in 4-H and the ag community. I didn't want my family and friends on environmental waste facilities.
Oh, yeah.
So now with the drone technology, that's why I'm jumping all in on that. Honestly, because I remember I didn't want my people in those safety concerns, those risks. It even translates to roading. Like throw up a robot in the air so you don't have a human down there with live traffic. Because honestly, that scares the hell out of me. Yeah. Because we did it a little bit with my family years ago, but have something out there scanning it, bring the data in where it's safe. Getting away from all of those safety risks, whether it's environmental waste facilities, big highways, roads, mining.
Oh, it's all exposure,
you can fly that above the mine where there's all those huge machines and maybe cave-ins and all that, borrow pits that I used to run into. I would fly it with the drone instead of having literally my family or myself. I used to have to do it down in borrow pits and stuff, which is just scary.
So maybe it won't be autonomous. It'll be like Tesla's Optimus 3 running it.
What are you guys most looking forward to this conference?
Just seeing, catching up with, other people that you've dealt with that you haven't seen for years.
Sure.
Seeing other technologies and, teaching classes.
Oh,
I like to
Awesome.
teach.
I think Mike hit it on the head. We were literally having breakfast this morning, and we were laughing and joking, comparing stories, war stories of the last 25 years. And there's a very nice lady across from us that's also presenting. And she came up to us and was like, "You guys are having way too much fun for a Trimble conference." And she was amazing. And honestly, she jumped in and we were all joking around, and she was telling us like what she's run into. And she had the exact same stories we have, but a different industry or different concerns or pain points or whatever. But at the end, she was at our table with us. And we were all joking around. And honestly, that's why I love coming here, talking about what you love, what you're passionate about, learning from somebody else in the room. Because she was telling us stuff that we kind of understood, but it was like insights that opened my mind up. I'm like, oh, she's running the same thing. Maybe we can build on that on our end. And then Mike gave her some very, very good recommendations that I'm sure she's going to. It was awesome.
Nice. So how do people find out more about what you guys do? About SciTech?
Well, we have a website called SciTech Southwest. And then I also have 10 actual support sites and classes that have multiple videos.
Okay.
And they can find that at SciTechSouthwest.retrieve.com.
Perfect. You got anything to add there?
Yeah, they can find us on SciTechMidway.com.
Okay.
We're working on building all those tutorials and videos and everything. I got to quit driving around my drone and sit down and again have my buddy my brother across the table from me kind of give me some tips and tricks of what he's run into. And that's what I think is beautiful about the territories. Like, he's not going to burn me, I'm not going to burn him.
Right.
My good friend in Indiana is not going to.
Yep.
Like, literally we build on each other. And honestly, I will say, from a client, we had a lot of GPS machines. The reason why I went with Trimble was things like this. Like any competitor, unfortunately, I kind of see them cannibalizing each other, and I don't think that's going to be a long play.
Yeah.
So, us building on each other is totally the difference in our Trimble networks than what I've lived and Mike's witnessed for a long time.
Yeah, we're actually teaching a class together.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
At 1:30. Two separate site techs are going to be in the same room.
Okay.
Exactly.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for your time, guys.
Yeah,
Well,
appreciate it.
thank
Thank
you.
you for getting us going here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us on.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank
And
you
it's
very
always
much.
good to see you, Ken.
You as well.
Yeah, but
Are you on name tags?
What?
Are you taking pictures of name tags?
I'm on it.
Thank you.
You
That was fun.
Do you have your name tag? Your name tag?